Hey guys, it's Jess from Madden Crafts, and today I'm going to teach you how to personalize back-to-school folders with Cricut Adhesive Smart Paper. With my Cricut Design Space Access account, I went through and found this really cute apple image that leaves space for personalization. Now, I didn't love the fact that it had the little highlight circles on the top and the bottom of the apple. So I clicked on that portion of the design and clicked contour, and I removed those dots one by one. That's a really cool feature that you can do in Design Space if you want to customize the access images just a bit. You can see that this access image was actually 2 layers, but I wanted it to all cut out on one piece of the sticker paper. So I selected the entire design, went to the Actions menu, and clicked Weld. I measured out my pocket folders and decided I wanted the image to cover about 5 inches square on the front of the folder. So I resized the entire design in Cricut Design Space to be 5 inches tall. Now there's another step I should have done here that I do later, but we'll get to that in a minute. I duplicated that design for the 4 different folders that I wanted to personalize. I opened up the text tool and went through all the Cricut Access fonts to find one that I thought would work really well for my project. You can choose from any of these Cricut fonts, or you can upload your own. Next, I typed in the subject names that I was going to be using for these folders, and then I adjusted the line spacing. I wanted these letters to kind of blend together because then they would cut out from fewer pieces of the sticker paper. Then I resized the font in order to fit the space in my design. I duplicated that text so the settings would stay the same, and then I changed it for the 3 other subjects that I was going to be using for my folders. Now here's the step that I should have done before I duplicated all of my images. I selected the background image, the apple, and I changed it from a print and cut to no fill, which means it would just cut. If I would have done this before I duplicated the first apple, I wouldn't have had to do this 4 times, but sometimes we forget. Finally, I selected all the layers of the design, opened up the Actions folder, and clicked Weld to make sure that the entire design would cut just as I see it on my canvas. Since I was going to be using Smart Paper for this project, I made sure that my app was connected to my Explore 3, and then I clicked the Without a Mat option. Once I made sure the canvas looked the way it was supposed to, I clicked Continue. On the next screen, I clicked All Materials and selected Smart Paper Sticker Cardstock from the list. I inserted a piece of white sticker cardstock into my Explorer 3 and clicked the Load button. The first thing that the machine is going to do is it's going to feed the entire piece of paper into the machine to make sure you have enough material for your design. Once my machine determined that, yep, I had enough material, it was ready to cut. I pressed go and my Explorer 3 started cutting. Because this is a smart material, the Cricut Explorer 3 cuts it so fast. Once my Cricut was finished cutting, I unloaded the material from the machine. You can't see it very well in the video, but you'll just have to trust me that it cut it out. Just to make the project a little bit easier, I cut the sticker cardstock sheet into 4 pieces, and then I weeded out the design. You do not have to do this. I just wanted to make sure that you were able to see it on camera. So here you can see this is the reading design for that folder. Because the Smart Paper is a sticker cardstock, there was no glue necessary for me to add this design to the front of the folder. I started by positioning the top of the apple to kind of center my design and give me a place to work off for the rest of the design. I started adding the word reading. You can see that some of the letters joined together because of the adjustments I made to the line spacing. I started to try to do this kind of freehand, and then I realized that that wasn't the best idea. Plus, the back of the sticker paper has grid marks on it, so I used that as a simple guide to line up the rest of my letters. Finally, I added the bottom of the apple to complete the design. Since this is sticker cardstock, it's actually just like any other cardstock. So my kids can take crayons or markers or colored pencils and color in all of that sticker however they would like to make it even more personalized. These folders are great for students and teachers alike. Please give this video a thumbs up if you learned something new today. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I post a new video, and visit me on my blog, maddencrafts.com. Thanks for watching. Bye!